Hello Cancer, welcome to Soul Good. I'm Amber Marie and this is your March 2023 Tarotscope. In the description box below you will find a whole lot of goodies, including a timestamp to jump to the start of your reading. Before you do that though, I have a couple of things to share, so if you could hold off for just a minute if you're going to do so. So I would like to remind you that this is a collective reading, not a personal reading. Only take what resonates with you. Okay. I would also like to thank you so much for being here with me. I truly, truly do appreciate your attention, your time, and your energy. I'm so very grateful for you. So thank you so much for being here and allowing me to speak to your soul. Okay. So I feel like this is kind of a big one, and I almost feel like some of y'all are gonna, when I say it, I can already hear you like, okay. I'm just the messenger, so do what you want with this information. As I was shuffling your cards for this reading, I was shown the snake in the upright and the rabbit in the reverse. So what that's saying to me is that there are some creative pursuits that you really maybe enjoy or really are passionate about, that maybe you haven't been pursuing. And for some reason, I'm getting this energy that you may be like quick to explain it away. So for example, maybe there's something you really like doing, and if somebody brings it up to you because they notice that you haven't done it in a while or something like that, that you're like, oh, well, I just don't have the time, or I'm too tired, or like whatever. I feel like you're quick to like explain it away. Okay, like to come up with something as to why you're not pursuing that thing. And that may not be for everyone, but it came in like crystal clear that there could be something that means something to you, that you have stopped putting maybe as much time as you would like, or perhaps this is simply just that you have like halted the brakes on your creativity. Maybe you've been super focused in the physical world, maybe on work or your family or whatever it is, and have been neglecting your own creative spirit and are quick to talk your way out of it. Okay? Again, I'm just the messenger. Take it if it resonates. Leave it if it does not. All right, Cancer, let's get to it and see what's going on for you this month. Please, Father, Mother, Life, Universe, Spirits, Guides, Angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves, tell us about Cancer's theme for March 2023, please. I feel like, okay, I gotta pause because I feel like you're scattered. I feel like you're a bit all over the place, okay? So there may need to be some time to kind of like come back to self, collect self, recenter yourself, refocus yourself this month. Tell us about Cancer's theme, please, for March 2023. Thank you. Tell us a truth for Cancer this month. Yep, thank you. Tell us a lie for Cancer this month. What is a lie in March 2023 for Cancer, please? A lie. Yep, thank you. Tell us about a lesson or... Okay. Thank you. Let me just make sure. I thought I saw a card flipped over. Maybe not, though. Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I don't want you to be missing out on anything meant for you. All right, let's get some clarity. And tell us more about Cancer's theme for this month, please. Oh, yeah, that's a lot. I don't know why. I feel like there's some fears. There's definitely some fears. Oh gosh, yeah. Yeah. Absorbing what's not yours. There we go. Thank you. I don't even know. Maybe they're not even your fears, Cancer. No, some of them are. They definitely are. They definitely are. It was like as soon as I said that, I got like, that's not true. Like immediately. Okay, so tell us more about a truth for Cancer this month, please. There we are. Okay, tell us more about a lie this month, please, for Cancer. Thank you. Tell us more about a lesson or blessing for Cancer this month. Oh. I don't know, you guys feel like you're all over the place. Your energy feels very scattered, very uncertain. Thank you. What is going on with y'all? Let's take a look. All right, so for your theme, you have turtle here. So the first thing I want to say about this turtle energy is that it is often linked to this kind of ancient wisdom, or maybe having more wisdom available to you than what you recognize. So I do feel like there's some truths that you know that maybe you're not speaking on or acting on or something. For some of you, ooh, okay. For some of you, I feel like when you're confronted with some form of truth or wisdom that maybe your ego doesn't agree with, you come, like, you know how turtles pop all of their appendages in, right? They bring in their head, their tail, all the things. I feel like when someone approaches you with a truth or some wisdom that you, for whatever reason, aren't letting yourself see or acknowledge, that you go into the shell, and some of you may shut down, you may get quiet, you may retreat. But I feel like if you allow yourself to explore those things without fearing them, or resisting them, and are open to new perspectives, that you could perhaps tap into some wisdom, some things that maybe need to be expressed or acknowledged or learned. I'm going to check out the book here. It's really interesting because you do have this turtle, which is water in this deck, and I mean, you're a water sign, right? So I feel like there's something here about not going with the flow, and that could have a lot, I mean, it could be about a lot of things really, right? But part of that, I feel like, is not pursuing what you know you want to or should be. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to read this. I feel like this is so important. Okay, so it says here, ancient soul, grounded, trusting, at home in the self. It is wonderful to be in the presence of a turtle personality. Like the beaver, the turtle has a strong relationship with the earth and the water elements simultaneously. This helps to ground and connect them to the deeper truths of life, no matter where their travels lead them. Turtle energy is behind all great writers and storytellers as they collect life experiences under their shells for later use. The most potent turtle energy helps us close all the other books and begin to tell our own true tale. When in balance, peaceful, adventurous, and productive. When out of balance, slows down to a halt. So like I was saying, right, I feel like when you're confronted with certain truths, certain things that you're like, nope, we're not going there. I don't want to, and it could be truths about yourself. It could be things you don't want to hear, and you could be like, no, I don't want to deal with that. I mean, but really it's like, here's the thing, Cancer, if you don't acknowledge your truths, your things, your wounding, your traumas, you're not going to be able to grow from them. You're not going to be able to move through them. You're going to be stagnant, or you're going to be stagnant. And I want to lovingly say that this could be anything. It could be, again, traumas, woundings, programming, all sorts of different things this could be applied to. And if you'll know exactly. I can hear you right now. I can hear you. You know what I'm talking about. If this is for you, you know, I can hear you. Like, she saw it, right? Like, like I kind of feel like you're like maybe you're just a little bit like you didn't want people to see it or something. Okay. All right, let's see. What else do you have here? The hummingbird. Yeah, like I was saying at the top of the reading, right? When I was sharing the intuitive messages that I was getting with seeing some of the cards while I was shuffling. The hummingbird is, first of all, like, it burns a lot of energy, right? Right? It requires a lot to sustain it. Okay? Now, as a water sign, I'm just getting this image of like dumping your cup out for other people and dumping and dumping and dumping and dumping and dumping in the physical world, at your job, in your family, whatever it is, right? Like I just really feel that this hummingbird is showing up to say you need to go where the nectar is sweet. You need to go where you're replenished, whether that's changing your friendship groups, your relationships. And yes, that could be your family. Yes, that could be your partner, right? Your friends, whatever it is, like going where the nectar is sweet, where you feel seen, where you feel heard, where you feel replenished, where you don't feel like somebody is literally sucking the life out of you. Okay? Because it's unsustainable. Not only that, but I feel like I was speaking on with the message at the beginning, that intuitive message about creativity and pursuing things that you enjoy, that you are good at, that, you know, things that you like to do, doing those things, because they're going to replenish your cup, right? If you're giving to everybody else and dumping and dumping and dumping, but not giving back to yourself, here's what happens. You dishonor yourself, and by dishonoring yourself, you teach yourself that you cannot trust yourself. And when you teach yourself that you cannot trust yourself, when you try to love yourself, you believe it's a big fat lie. And then so you don't love yourself either, because you can't allow yourself to do that. So I'm just saying, let's see what your clarifier is. Earthed, learning how to be human in the world, but not of it. Yeah, I mean, for some of you, I feel like there's this kind of like escape. I don't know what this is. I don't feel like this is for everybody. I feel like there's something here about like doing something to escape. Like, I don't know. It's like, I don't want to be in this world. That's what it feels like, honest. And again, I don't feel like that's for everyone. But notice here how on this earthed card, how she's in this little bubble. Okay, it's reminding me very much so of the turtle shell and also the bubble here around the hummingbird. Okay, learning how to be in the world, but not of it. So in other words, you know, I feel like for you, it's this element of, yes, there are things that happen in this life that are maybe not pleasant, or that maybe we don't necessarily like, or that piss us off, or you know, we would rather have not had to deal with, or whatever it is. Yes, there are those things, but all of those things that have happened have been for a reason, and best believe a damn good one. And I know I can hear you, because you're like, well, what about this? What about this? I want to lovingly say, and this is how it's coming in, right? I don't know how you're going to feel about this. And some of you may deny it, which is, it's your story. Do what you want. But I'm really trying to not be insensitive about it. But I'm also someone who is quite, who understands how attachments work. Okay. So I want to lovingly say, God does not make mistakes. And the things that have happened in your life have happened for a reason, likely to teach you something. Learning how to be human. Okay, what does it mean to be human? That is a question that maybe you should ponder on, because here's the thing. To be human is to feel. It's to experience the highs, the lows, the sad, the happy, the terrible, and the glorious. Okay? It's to experience the duality of this plane, the polarity. right? That's what it means to be human, is to experience the emotions, to experience the things. And even though they may be things that have been unpleasant, that have been traumatic, that have left scars, that have wounded you and jaded you, they've happened for a reason. And if you allow yourself to move through it, to really move through it, to forgive yourself, forgive God, forgive whoever's involved in said trauma, wounding, the things, okay? If you allow yourself to forgive, you are more likely to be able to see how or why this happened in your experience, these things, because maybe it's not just one thing, why these things have happened. Okay, and I want you to know, like, I say that with so much love because I've experienced some pretty traumatic shit in my life. And I'm not saying it's easy at all, but it is necessary in order for you to truly align with your soul self. In order for you to truly learn and grow and expand. And I feel like a good way to do that is by having a really good support system, by having, right, again, going where the nectar is sweet, around the people who understand, around the people who see you, the people who are going to support and encourage you and are going to help you navigate the things, even if it is only so that you can vent to somebody and feel heard. Okay? For some of you, I'm actually getting like it might not be a bad idea to get therapy or counseling on whatever this is for you. But I feel like this is something that's taking place throughout the month for you. And I also feel like there's a need here to focus heavily on the things that do sustain you, that do fill your cup, because it's going to help to combat or I don't know. I feel like it's going to help you if you focus on the things that light you up, like, you know, your creativity, things that bring you joy, people who bring you joy, the things that again help to sustain you. I feel like it's going to help you to move through that or those things. So what's the truth? We have the Lamb here. So, ooh, Cancer. The truth is God loves you. That's the truth. I'm just going to say that. Maybe you call it source, maybe you call it creator, maybe you call it something else. I refer to it as God. So, you know, God loves you. That's the truth. That's the truth. Regardless of what you've done, what you've said, what's happened in your experience, God loves you and God will not turn its back on you. I feel like that's so important for you to know. What else do you have here? Earth pulsing, pulse of the mother, slow down, time in nature. Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. Like, I feel like with this Lamb energy, and so first of all, this is Earth energy with that Lamb. Notice the similar colors. I'm getting fear coming up as well. So first of all, I want to say, I feel like the truth is that maybe there's a need to reconnect more with nature, to spend time outside or to get outdoors. For some of you, maybe you've been cooped up, you know, and maybe it's winter in your neck of the woods like it is in mine. And, you know, maybe it's been cold, but I still feel like there's a call here for you to get outside, get some fresh air. And then there's this other element here of slowing down enough, okay? Slowing down, which is, it's interesting, right? Because you have two kind of conflicting energies here. With the turtle, it's like when it's out of balance, it slows down to a halt. And then the hummingbird is like so much energy, but is unsustainable. So it could run out very quickly, right? So it's kind of like, I feel like maybe, let me back up a bit. I feel like some of you could like be at a halt and still keep trying to go. And it's like, okay, but you're like trying to go, but the brakes are on. So you're just like spinning your wheels, okay, if that makes sense. And you're just wearing out your tread. I hope that makes sense. And with the Lamb and this earth pulsing slow down energy, I'm really getting this element of there's a need here. The truth is God loves you. And if you slow down and get quiet, that you will hear that. God will God will speak to you and confirm that for you. Like God will tell you. But I feel like the only way you're going to be able to hear that is if you slow down. Okay? Let me take a peek here, because I just want to I just want to take a look at what some of the keywords. There are keywords here above, or above each of the descriptions for the cards, or interpretations for the cards. And I just want to see what it says above the Lamb, because I have not been in this, I haven't gotten into this this book in quite a while, or this deck, I mean. So it does say here, peaceful, prophetic, and patient. When in balance, so I'm not reading the middle here, I'm just reading some of these down here. When in balance, knowingness and inner peace. When out of balance, quiet, timid, and concerned. So I feel like the truth is literally, like, if you slow down and let God in, you will be able to find that inner peace. Right? Which is very much like what I was already talking about. Okay. I also feel for some of you, like, God can help you to forgive. Right? God can help you to do that. But you have to choose, because it is a choice. You have free will. God gave you that beautiful gift, right? But at the same time, like, you actually have to choose to let God in. You have to choose the inner peace. You have to choose that knowingness that you are a child of God, that God does love you. Like, you have to choose to acknowledge and accept that. Woo-hoo-hoo, yeah. Yeah, Cancer, the truth is, jump in. Andromedan energy, adventure, say yes to change. Right, so first of all, I'm getting here, like, jumping into self, diving deeper into self, jumping in, saying yes to you. And I want to read this to you. I feel like I need to read this paragraph here to you, and in regards to both of these cards together and to the truth. So keep that in mind, please, as I read this, okay? This is a truth for you this month. The Lamb is the bearer of an important message, right? Slowing down, getting quiet. Oh, it also, it also says peaceful, prophetic, and patient. I'm not sure if I read those. I think I did. I don't know. Okay, so again, the Lamb is the bearer of an important message. Its contents can only be heard when a deep level of quiet has been established. Lamb energy is the honest guidance you hear from an old friend, a young child, or sometimes a surprising stranger. Though the Lamb's message may channel through another person, the wisdom resonates within you. It will repeat and reverberate until you listen. Approach this gentle creature with utmost patience and reverence. Truth is a gift. Sit still, listen, receive. It's so fascinating, right? Because it's like the truth is a gift. And we're speaking on what's the truth for you this month. The truth is, say yes to something different. Say yes to the adventure that life is, instead of looking through the eyes, or rather looking at things like very cynically. And maybe that doesn't apply to everyone, okay? Like, maybe you're like, I don't know, that's not for me. And fine, maybe it's not. But there is someone listening who has essentially kind of closed their heart, maybe to God, to themselves, to their truth, right? And there are things that I feel like there are truths that are being denied. And so it's coming to the forefront, right? And I do feel like part of that for some is that, you know, wondering, like, does God love me? Like, why am I being punished, or something like that? And like, that's not the truth at all. God does love you. And if you slow down and say yes to God, you will experience that. You will hear that. And it'll be the adventure of your life. But I've heard Jordan Peterson speak on this a little bit, not in its entirety. I've seen clips on YouTube and things. But he says, like, the adventure of your life often comes with great sacrifice or great suffering, but it is the adventure of your life. And it's interesting because that I'm being reminded of that, first of all. Second of all, that it is here on this card, and jump in. And third of all, that in that lecture or speech that he's giving, he's referring to Christ and the Bible and the New Testament. And it's, I mean, nothing comes from nothing. Maybe that's something you want to look into. Maybe it's something you want to watch. Let's take a look at a lie. Ooh, we have the golden egg here. So this is a cosmic energy, and I am, or rather, I'm sorry, a spiritual energy. So I am going to look it up. Okay, I am going to look it up because I am not very familiar with what exactly it is. And again, it's been a while since I've been in this deck or used this deck. So give me just a second here to figure out where that's at. Where is it actually? Hello. There it is. All right. So it says here. Now, and I want you to consider, like, there's something here that's a lie. Okay? Something here that's a lie. It says message at the center of the heart, or the unstruck sound. Within the golden egg lives a precious sound. Deep within that sound resides a message. The sound cannot be heard, nor the message discerned, until we retreat from the noise of modern day life. The magical essence of the golden egg needs warmth, quiet, and time to unfold. No rushing, pushing, or grasping. Find a place of deep and restful ease, perhaps through yoga or meditation. If you do not yet have a meditation practice, take some time for introspection or contemplation. When the mind begins to settle and the breath is calm, ask the question that weighs heaviest on your heart, staying open to any response you hear. Engaging with the energy of the golden egg is an advanced practice. It requires becoming intimate with our very essence and comfortable with vulnerability. Now I'm just going to pause for a moment because I want to comment on this before I lose it. I feel like there are some of you who may claim to be vulnerable, claim to be open, claim to get quiet, claim to give yourself time to think, claim like all these sorts of things, but I feel like that's not entirely true. Right? I mean, we are talking about a lie here. And I feel like it's not entirely true. I feel like there are aspects that you may be vulnerable about, or open about, or intimate, you know, you may be, what is the word? Open to. But I also feel like there are things that, and you know this, where I feel like, again, notice the repeating symbolism here, okay? There's the turtle in the shell. There's this earth card and she's in the bubble, right? There's an egg with a shell on it. So all of these things are like encasing something. And I feel like with this golden egg energy and it being in this position of a lie, that's what I feel like it is. Like you literally have these walls up, or these shells around certain aspects of yourself. And I do feel like there are things that you have been unable to receive. Right? So like maybe you're like, oh, I've tried this, I've tried this, I've tried that, I've tried that. And the truth of, like, I don't know that that's entirely true. Like maybe you did, but I feel like maybe you went in it half-heartedly. Maybe you went into it believing that nothing would come of it. It wouldn't work. So for example, you know, maybe there's this, okay, let God in, like God loves you. And you're like, yeah, God loves me, but you don't really believe it. Or you're not, you know, or if maybe somebody's like, oh, but did you look into this? And you're like, yeah, but you like didn't really. Or if you did, you just shut it down. You're like, no, that's not going to work. Right? And For some of you, I'm going to say this so lovingly. For some of you, I feel like you're white knuckling your pain or your trauma or your wounding. And that is the shell. Like you're holding on to it so tightly. Okay. That it's like encased, if you will, in this shell. And so that's kind of the lie. Like you're unwilling to let go. Okay. Which it happens. Okay. I just want to make that very clear. It happens. We've all been there. We've all clung to our pain longer than maybe we should have. All right. I didn't say it was easy. I never said any of this stuff was easy. And it's not. Okay. When a feeling of tenderness or gratitude arises from deep within you, know that you are well on your way. Right? So when you start to like, and I know we're talking about a lie here, but I just want to clarify this a little bit. When you start to see the things that you've experienced and acknowledging the things that you've experienced, and you allow yourself to be full on vulnerable, like let it all go, right? Like if you feel like you're going to cry, like let yourself cry, like really cry, like ugly cry, right? Let yourself feel what you need to feel, because that is the only way, or rather, yes, that's part of like the only way you're going to be able to heal is by really sitting in the things, feeling the things, and allowing yourself, I feel many of you, to forgive. But you, especially yourself and God. But I feel like that's like the only way that you're going to be able to move past this. And when you start to feel and I know this really sounds batshit Looney Tunes because it did to me. It took me forever it felt like, to wrap my mind around this. When you start to feel gratitude toward the things that you've experienced, good, bad, ugly, and everything in between, horrific, whatever it is, when you start to feel gratitude for those things. Now, I'm not saying that you love those things, that you like those things, that they are, you're like, oh yeah, I'm so glad I went through that. In the sense of like, I would do it again or whatever. But once you start to show this gratitude for what you've gained and learned from those experiences, that is when you know you're well on your way to heal. And it's hard. It really is hard. Okay. But it's not impossible unless you choose and decide that it is. It says here, your chest may swell like you're seeing an old friend that's been away for a long, long time. Listen to the message they've been waiting to tell you. The golden egg and the fourth chakra. The subtle essence of the golden egg is nestled deep within the heart center at the fourth chakra. This chakra, called, I believe this is Anahata, is the home of the self or the soul. By bringing the mind into the center, we discover a portal to the most intimate and luminous space. It is said our inner guide sits there in deep meditation, waiting for us. Anahata translates as the unstruck sound. Right? So, yeah, I feel like you're essentially, by persisting with this lie that these are things that you're just not going to be able to deal with, you're not going to be able to handle, by not acknowledging them, by deceiving yourself or whatever it is, by like, clinging to these things that have caused you pain and trauma. By doing that, you're preventing yourself from truly stepping into your soul self, truly stepping into who you really, really are at your core. Okay, but let's see, what's the clarity here? Yep. You have deep cellular healing, Arcturus energy, physical and emotional healing. Again, like I was saying, I feel like part of the lie you've been telling yourself is that you cannot move past these things. And the truth of it is you can, but you have to be willing to allow yourself to do so. I mean, or don't. It's obviously, it's completely up to you, but that is what is coming through here as part of the lie. It's just that you are telling yourself, or have told yourself, that you are unable to heal from whatever it is you've experienced. Yep, you also have here lifting the veil, questioning everything, anything unaligned must go. Yeah, yeah. I mean, Cancer, I know these things are hard, and I'm not trying to come off as insensitive, but there has to be this willingness to move through these things. And sometimes, like, we have to hear the hard shit in order to be able to really see what we are doing to ourselves. Because when we don't acknowledge our pain, when we try to run from it, guess what? It follows us everywhere. And if you put up this shell around your heart and you think, oh, I'm just keeping myself in, the truth of the matter is that you keep people from connecting with you as well. You keep out the world. You keep out the people you love. Okay? By closing off parts of your heart, you keep those people out. So this is that energy of like, anything unaligned must go. Question everything. Again, I feel like a lie is that you already know, right? It's interesting how this is coming through like that. It's like the lie is that you think you already know all the answers, and the truth is you don't. Question everything. Lift that veil. Let all the things come out. Let the things be revealed. Let yourself be intimate with yourself and vulnerable with yourself, which in turn will allow you to be intimate and vulnerable with those you love and the world around you. And you will experience life in a much different way. And my head is all sorts of tingly right now. I feel like y'all are having like a moment. You know, and I'm being reminded of like the Wizard of Oz, right? The man behind the curtain, where you feel like I'm in control. I have a hold on my things. You know, I'm healing, I'm growing. Or maybe you feel that way, right? But really, like, here's the thing I want to lovingly say. When you hold on to trauma and pain and programming and all that sort of stuff, it's really that puppet master, because that's what's really controlling your life. It really is. And you may think you got it, but the truth of the matter is, And I think if you were really honest with yourself, you would see that. Ooh, this one's tough, Cancer. I feel like we've talked about this before for some reason in previous readings. Okay, let's take a look at the lesson. Blessings. Yeah, we have Vulture here. So the lesson is allowing yourself to release the things that are stagnant, that have decayed, that are no longer serving you, right? So the vulture in, here on Earth, its job is essentially like the garbage man, right? It gets rid of and cleans up the unwanted things, the things that, could pollute or make the world around it unsanitary or what have you. And so I feel like the lesson here is to allow yourself to release the things that aren't serving you, the things that are again stagnant, decaying, that have died, that are no, you know what I mean? Like they're not serving you, things that are unaligned. And I feel like it's about letting that go, and that I feel like that's the lesson, is the letting this vulture energy clean up your life, clean up your space internally, right? And I say life, but really what I mean is like clean up the space within you, which will then, as within, so without, which will overflow into your external experience. And I feel like it's about allowing that to happen. I feel like that's the lesson. And I feel like you'll see, right, how beneficial that can be. Again, because it will overflow into your external experience. You also have Firefly here. So the first thing that I heard as soon as I flipped this card over is there's a light at the end of the tunnel, is how I'm seeing this right here. And I want to read, I want to pop into the book real quick. I just looked at this for another sign. I don't know why it slipped away so fast. Probably because I've done so many readings. Oh, and I don't know if you can hear, but like my voice is kind of scratchy. And I feel like usually when that happens, it's because there are truths that are not being fully expressed. And I feel like that definitely resonates here. Okay. So it says here, the firefly contains the light of 1,000 stars. Oh, I'm sorry. It says inspired and fantastic, yet fleeting. Okay. So it says here, the firefly contains the light of 1,000 stars. It's pure, radiant, and illuminating. This high frequency charge cannot be sustained for long. Therefore, the firefly card indicates a moment of inspiration or awakening that quickly fades if we do not catch it. There is firefly energy behind every poem, song, and invention. Our job is to be ready to harness this creative spirit when it graces our path. What can you do to support this precious and elusive energy? When in balance, writes, creates, brainstorms. When out of balance, burnt out and feels dull. So it's really, really interesting because it's very similar to this hummingbird energy, right? That inability to sustain something for a long period, or something being fleeting, right? With the hummingbird, it's like the energy is fleeting, right? So it can't just keep going. It has to go refill itself. And it's interesting because the firefly is similar, where it can get burnt out, and to fuel that, it's like find that creative inspiration. And it's really interesting because of what I said intuitively before we got your cards out. So I do feel like there's a light at the end of the tunnel here, or there's a light within the tunnel for you, Cancer, where it's like, yes, you could be dealing with some pretty heavy shit, some pretty heavy traumas, woundings, programmings that have affected you immensely in your experience. And you could be working through those things, and that could be very difficult as part of, you know, the lesson. But there's a blessing to this as well. And the blessing is that I feel like God is giving you an outlet through your creativity, through what inspires you. And I feel like if you tap into that and utilize that, I feel like it can be very therapeutic for you as you move through this energy. Wow. Holy crap. So Cancer, I don't know if you remember, but I was saying, okay, as difficult as it may seem and as off the wall as it sounds, when we are able to see that the things we've experienced have taught us something, have provided us with something, okay? Because oftentimes when things happen that are traumatic, we think about what it's taken from us. Oftentimes we overlook what we've gained through that experience, okay? For me, personally, it took me having to go through the things that I've experienced, which there's been a lot of trauma in my life. And I'm not saying my life is any worse or any better than anyone else's. We all have our own experiences, and we all experience them differently based on our perspectives. But the things that I went, like all the things I went through, I had to go through because of my personality, and it was the only way I could navigate it. Was I had to take the situations that were traumatic or painful for me, and I had to see what I learned. What was that? You know what I'm saying? So, for example, I had someone who was neglectful, and that taught me, it taught me that I need to be willing to look after myself, that I can't put all of my, how do I word this? I can't count on other people to support me. I have to be willing to support myself, or I can't count on other people to love me. I have to be willing to love myself, right? So it taught me that about me. And that was the way that I was able to learn through that. So I was like, okay, I forgive you, because through that experience, I was able to learn this about myself, and it has brought me to where I am currently. So you do have this, I remember, soul plan, the fated life versus the destiny life, and that's the blessing. The blessing is realizing that it's a plan. Ooh. I feel fear coming up right now, because I do feel like there are some things that maybe you've experienced, you're like, no way. There's no way I planned that. But according to the research of many quantum healing hypnosis therapy practitioners like Dolores Cannon and other healing hypnosis practitioners. You know, there's various different kinds. And there's even a book that was written by a man named Robert Schwartz, pardon me, called Your Soul's Plan, where which he's also a hypnotherapist. We map out at all the things right there. I mean, don't get me wrong, we have free will and we can take detours, but a lot of the stuff we've experienced throughout our lifetime, especially the big stuff, a lot of that is planned. We decide, we choose to experience those things so we can learn from them. So we can truly know what it's like to be human. And I know that's a hard pill to swallow. Trust me. Trust me, I've done it. Okay? But that's what I feel like is going on here. I feel like that's the blessing. But, you know, it says here the fated life versus the destiny life. And what that means is you get to decide. Okay, I'm going to actually grab the book because I want you to know what that means. The fated life versus the destiny life. I feel like that will give you an additional layer as you try to navigate whatever this is for you. Just give me a sec to pull that up. Okay, so here we go. There was a moment before you were born when you chose the conditions of the life you're living right now. When you plotted out these exact moments along the timeline of your life. Oh, focus, please. Thank you. We live in a world of free will, and therefore these moments become our destiny only through saying yes. The fated life is the one we were born into. The destiny life is the one our soul chooses, and it takes courage and faith. If you pull this card, it's because you're likely now face to face with a choice to follow the destiny life over the fated life, to trust the path your soul is calling you toward, and to remember that this moment was prearranged on your life's timeline. You may find yourself at a crossroads, at a moment when you're being called to make a decision, to keep walking the perfectly laid out path before you, or to choose the one less traveled. You may be facing a change of career, a new relationship, a difficult decision, or something else that requires courage and faith. You're being invited to remember your soul's greater plan and to surrender to it. When you're confronted with a path that's undefined, it's normal for doubt to rear its head. In fact, this is a certain sign that you're facing your soul's greater plan. Every hero in his or her life journey comes eye to eye with doubt. The only way around it is through it. It's all part of the larger plan. What are you being called to do to surrender to your soul's plan? Right? So, and I just looked up and I saw the numbers 111. So I do feel like this for you is a new beginning. This for you is an opportunity for you to experience something different, to experience what it, like your soul's plan, to understand, like you're learning how to be human, right? But you're in the world, but not of it, right? So you don't have to adhere to this fated life. You can adhere or step in alignment with your soul's plan. But I feel like there are things that need to be released in order for you to do that. And to truly experience yourself the way that you meant to experience yourself, and to truly experience this adventure that life is the way that you meant to, and to experience Earth the way that you meant to, the way that you planned to. Okay. Wow. I feel like this is going to be, you know, a little bit heavier of a month for you, but I do feel like there is an incredibly large, glorious opportunity for you to not only heal and to move forward and to step in alignment or get into alignment with your soul's plan, but also for you to find God, to learn how to start honoring yourself, honoring your feelings, trusting your feelings, and learning how to love yourself, learning how to kind of bring that wall down between yourself and you, and to also allow others in, to be vulnerable and to let God in, right? So I feel like it's huge this month for you, Cancer, if you let it. But that's the key. We do have that free will, and you can simply choose the fated life, and you can, things don't have to change. They don't have to. It's completely up to you, but you do have an opportunity here to experience something different and to let God in and to say yes, right? To say yes to change. So Cancer, that is what I have for you for March 2023. I truly do appreciate your time and your company. Thank you so much for joining me. I pray that something in this reading resonates for you and is helpful for you in navigating your experience in some way, shape, or form for this month. If something resonated for you, please do the YouTube things by liking, sharing, commenting, or smashing that subscribe button. It really does help the channel to grow, and I truly, truly do appreciate it. Thank you so much again for joining me. It's been a pleasure to read for you. Wherever you are this month, whatever you're doing, I want you to know that God loves you. I want you to know that God is waiting for you to come back to it, to reconnect with it. And I want you to know that you absolutely have the power within you to change your story, to experience something different, and to learn how to love you for the incredible, beautiful soul that you are. Have a powerful month. Do epic, great things, and take care of yourself. Peace be with you. I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.